We'd been in Copenhagen for a couple of days, and the place where we were staying overlooked Sweden and the city of Malmö. So we decided to take a day trip. About 15 minutes to the airport railway station, where we can then get a train across the Olesund bridge to Malmö. First things first, a coffee. Then check out the times of the trains. Trains leave every 20 minutes and take around 20 minutes. First above the water on a bridge, then a tunnel underneath the water. Then get ready for an enjoyable day in Sweden. Usually visiting a different country is a hassle. Here the whole trip takes around half an hour.
So we are now in Malmo in Sweden, and after about a 35-minute train ride, very pleasant, no immigration or anything, just walk straight in and off we go. Fantastic.
Time to explore. Not as famous for its canals as Copenhagen, but the city has its share. And they've obviously been here a long time. Nate and I love coffee and love to try the local brews. Nate is checking where they are. Just type better than Starbucks in Google. First impressions are of a cosmopolitan city, colourful and clean, with interesting architecture. I was left wanting more than a day to explore, especially the historical side of the city. It has a number of pedestrian cobblestone streets, complete with art and bicycles. The streets are lined with interesting shops and an abundance of street stalls, selling everything from cheese to soap. Oh, and flowers. It appears all roads lead to the 16th century shopping market square, a beloved flea market that also offers food from all over Europe and the Mediterranean. A tempting selection that even includes kangaroo burgers, camel burgers, and crocodile burgers from Australia. It's a fact there are more camels in Australia than any other place in the world, and the Aussies are eating them. There's also coffee. How many street stalls do you know that accept credit cards? The coffee was okay.
Left Copenhagen and 35 minutes later we're in Malmö in Sweden, and it's a very enjoyable place to visit.
The square is very beautiful with fountains, trees and gardens, though I'm sure it looks great in the sunshine. Next stop, lunch. We had heard that this restaurant served some special Swedish dishes.
We're about to get a plank steak, Swedish speciality, on a steak on a wooden board.
Restaurant, by the way, is a French word meaning food that restores. And that's just what it did. And you have to admit that it looks good. After that, we took another stroll and looked for another good coffee shop. Number one in Malmö, apparently, is the Lilla Cafe Rosteria, which did not disappoint. Great ambience and great coffee. We found this coffee shop and it's called the Lilla Cafe Rosteria, and they roast their own coffee. So we came in for what the Swedes call Fika. We had a cup of coffee and a pastry that was actually cardamom flavor. It was delicious. Coffee was delicious. Just had a really, really nice time in here. We then did some shopping, taking in the sights along the way, and to our delight, the sun began to peep through the grey clouds. The canals do have interesting boats. Dine and cruise, though the boat was more like a floating plank. But nevertheless, I'm sure it would be fun on a sunny day. After a nice walk, sightseeing and shopping, we made our way to another historic square, Lilla Torg, renowned for its restaurants and ancient buildings.
Plenty of history, plenty of atmosphere. Really good.
Al fresco dining, and extremely popular. But we decided we weren't ready for another meal yet and continued our sightseeing. The harbour surrounds the central railway station, and as the sun emerged, we were able to get some scenic shots. Not least, the fascinating buses. A very picturesque place and a joy to visit. The town hall, and yes, it's 7 o'clock already, and we're now searching for a good place for dinner and taking a look at the outside of the historic St. Peter's Church on the way. Gothic style, built in 1319, it's the oldest building in Malmö. Then we found a great place for dinner. Nate had salmon, which was a work of art. I had the chicken. By the time we finished, there was not a cloud left in the sky, and we enjoyed a beautiful evening in Sweden. Time to return to Copenhagen. The trains run until late at night, but it's only 8:45. After a short wait, we were making our way back across the water. As the sun set, it was a nice feeling, a pleasant day. We then jumped on the airport train back to our apartment after another memorable adventure.